Those who dream of driving fast on dirt aboard designs found only in their worst nightmares are those who drive tough trucks. Strapped inside budget Baja buzzsaws, these Rough Riders are bringing a storm to the Great Allegheny Passage. And in their wake, the dust will come blowing into Somerset, Pennsylvania.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Tim Howard from Back Channel Productions out here in Somerset, Pennsylvania at the 4th round of Storms Racing Event Series. Holy cow, they invited us out here today to document a bunch of it. We're doing a little Chicago-style racing, all right? Basically kind of like the monster trucks do. One truck's going forward, one truck's going the opposite direction. At each corner, they got a big stack of tires with 2 little jumps in the corners. As you come out, you got to do a full 360 around those tires. As you come out of them, there's a jump. So on your first loop around, you're going to take a chance on high siding the truck. When you come back out of it, you can actually jump out, hook a hard right onto the track, and complete your lap. As far as the thing between Pat Winchester and Jake Nichols and the Foy Toy, these two have been battling pretty hard back and forth. They are great friends off the track, but when it comes down to racing, it's all about the winner. Jake took Pat out in the last race. Today, we'll have to wait and see. We got a great field of trucks. We got a couple off-road mud buggies. We even got a couple cars. Today's Storm event should be amazing.
Thanks to Tim Howard for kicking things off. He is a busy man this weekend. Back to his normal post here as an event announcer in Somerset. Stay with us here on Monster Power. The storm is coming.
This Back Channel Productions program is presented in part by Monsters Monthly. For up-to-date show and ticket info, plus articles, event breakdowns, and a wide selection of photo and video galleries, visit monstersmonthly.com.
Welcome back to the Somerset County Fair in Meyersdale, Pennsylvania. We're getting prepped for race action. You see the field of trucks. We're going to take you back and show you some qualifying round highlights, the fast runs of the early qualifying procedure. You see 2 trucks now that are also running in the stock class. Arthur Chester in the crowd, please, are taking on Pretty in Pink. Normally, that's his wife, Lindsay. This weekend, it's Zach Liebart, another one of the fast Keystone Tough Truckers aboard the Bright Pig Jeep Cherokee Sport. He's driving like he's been in it all season long. Arthur Chester, though, a hard one to match. You can see one of the fastest in the stock class trying his hand here in the modified class with that awesome green Jeep Cherokee out of the state of Pennsylvania. You're also getting a good look at the course here. You can see there's 2 roundabouts, one on either side. And the inbound side of one is very, very aggressive. The outbound side of the other one is more aggressive. And how you handle either one of those could be the dynamic shift throughout the evening. We will see what happens, though, as the sun sets here in Meyersdale. Arthur Chester, with the faster of those 2 runs early on, set the pace at a 53-59. Up next, there's Flirting with Disaster, taking on Thomas Faust. Mad Money, another one of the Pennsylvanians, now in modified truck, taking on kind of a mud bogger right here. That thing runs leaf springs. It's an interesting looking vehicle. Maybe a little bit outmatched, though, by Thomas Faust. Although this would be Flirting with Disaster's only run so far here in Meyersdale. It does not look like he's going to make the field. He had mechanical problems as he exited the track after this run. But you can see Faust laid down a good run, spitting some mud up over on our camera position. Look at the bounce in that thing as it comes over. It's sprung pretty well, but still not quite the way that these sway bar trucks are in the modified class. Thomas Faust laying down down a time at a 47.37 that would take him to the number 1 spot early on. Here comes Pat Winchester in the mental case out of the state of New York, taking on another New Yorker, Mike Leupold in the Warhorse. Mike with a new truck for 2019. We've mentioned it before, but he trashed his old one, and look at Pat throwing dirt all over the cameraman. As he makes his way through the roundabout there, you can see how aggressive the bump going into that one is. On the other side, again, as I mentioned, coming out is where you may get into problems. There you see Mike Leupold with problems in the Warhorse. I believe he blew a tire on that run. Pat would have to come back for a body run later in the class. Brett Spangenberg, beer money, taking on the Godfather, Jake Nichols in the Foy Toy here in qualifying. And there you see that really aggressive drop that these guys are taking coming out of that roundabout down on the far end. Jake Nichols in the Foy Toy, heading into his second roundabout. Spangenberg a little bit behind at this point, trying to pick up the pace. Nichols looking real good in this qualifying session number 1 as the dust kicks up in front of the sunset over the Alleghenies. Nichols making his final turn back onto the front stretch. This should be a pretty close finish right here. They were nose to nose. There you see the times, 49.32 to 49.53. Spangenberg actually got the better of the 2 runs. And another pair of Foy Toy machines, Scott Martin and Haulin' Ass. Nose to nose with Paul Hackle in the Swamp Donkey. Foy Toy team known for those Broncos. 2 of the oddball trucks on that team. Still some fast equipment here in Somerset, Pennsylvania. Scott Martin laying down a good run, a little bit behind Paul Hackle at this point. The Swamp Donkey looking real good as he enters his second roundabout, getting bounced around in the cockpit of that Jeep a little bit. Scott Martin very aggressive on the second side. To our left, this one, Swamp Donkey is in off to our right. Scott Martin made up some serious time in that second roundabout, taking the measure of Paul Hackle in that run right there. 47.81 will put him into 4th place. Hackle will take 5th. Now, final run of qualifying session number 1. It was Pat Winchester in the mental case. Remember, Mike Leupold with problems in that first qualifying session. He would have to wait till one of the later qualifying sessions to lay down a run. He did get into the field, but you can see Pat now on a solo shot. If you've listened to Pat talk on our earlier editions of Monster Power, Pat does not like making solo runs. He likes having someone on the track to kind of push him. What you're about to see been the fastest run of the day so far. Ford Raptor scooter that he drives around there, kicking dust up all over the Meyersdale, Pennsylvania Somerset Fairgrounds as he crosses the finish line at a 45 flat to take the number 1 spot going into modified elimination. Matt Winchester setting the pace for the rest of the evening. Mike Leupold, though, ended up in second after he made another run in qualifying session number 3. Qualifying session number 2 was a little bit rough due to a miscommunication with the water truck. Brett Spangenberg rounding out the top 5. We'll be back to Meyersdale. As you make your way through the Allegheny Passage, you may be met with the small town of Meyersdale, Pennsylvania. That's where we are tonight with Storm. Tough Truck Racing, short track, off-road motorsports. That's the reasoning for the acronym, and they have brought the wild action with them. Remember, we mentioned going into the break a little miscommunication with the water truck. Notice all the mud on the track. It really slowed these guys down in the early stock Tough Truck sessions. These guys run singles. Here's Arthur Chester now making his run. Again, Chester and Liebart running in both classes tonight. Look at him slide his way into the roundabout. Good save right there. He could have slid past those tires. He managed to get the truck shut down and turned in, but you can see that mud is just giving these guys fits here at the Somerset County Fairground. Finding some dry dirt out there on the outer edge. Watch him try to shut this thing down. Arthur Chester, 59.47 second run. Those times should be better when we get into session number 3. Here comes Mara Spencer now out of Barton, New York. One of our favorites to watch. This lady has a heavy right foot. If you remember back to our coverage in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, she almost put this truck on its lid at the end of the weekend, and that was after she ripped off the right rear tire. You want to see some wild driving, though? Watch Mara try to shut this thing down at the wall. In a little bit close to the outer markers there. Still laid down a pretty good run. Holder in the field at a 59.47 second run. Now you see the buckshots in front of Ed Dincoon's mean green Dodge Magnum powered vehicle. Those should help him normally in the mud. I don't know if it translates to video, but I can't tell you what Ed's yelling in the cockpit. You can hear it loud and clear over here on the sidelines. Not a real happy camper. Back to Arthur Chester. Trying to make a little bit faster run. Talk about some smooth moves. Managed to spin the truck around and get it into the roundabout. Ed Dincoon, even with the problems he had, is sitting on top after session number 2. He will lead the pack coming in to the final session of stock tough truck racing here in Meyersdale. Zach Liepart, the fastest Amishman in the Keystone State at the wheel of Lindsey Chester's Pretty in Pink. We'll call it the second crowd pleaser since Zach is at the wheel of it here this weekend. Looks very comfortable behind the wheel of this truck, by the way. Doesn't seem to be much of a learning curve for him at all. He also runs and maintains another Jeep Cherokee Sport. In fact, one of the first times we saw Zach, he put his truck on its top out in Fonborough, Pennsylvania. He's laying down a real aggressive shot here, and you can see the track has dried up considerably, though there are still some sloppy spots as he gets into his second roundabout here. You notice they have to go around these tires twice. Not once, but twice before they come back out onto the straight stretch. Now, Zach Liepart looks to be laying down the run of the evening so far. Let's see what the time is. Very aggressive shot across the finish line. And a 52.12 will take the top spot for the moment. But coming out of the pits right now is the bright green and pink team truck to that one. Look at the tires he's got on this thing. They're like slicks. Don't think he expected to be dealing in mud the way he is right now. Actually doing a little brake test there as he jams them on to make sure he can get some traction. He had that awesome ride there in session number 2 where he did a full 360 and then put it into the roundabout without losing any time, really. He did lose a bit, though, and he had to save the truck. Now, let's see if Arthur Chester, who's sitting in 4th right now, as you see on the graphic down there, can gain any time on his teammate. Zach Liepart laid down one heck of a run. So the only downside to Zach Liepart running the other truck is it's not his vehicle. He might be afraid to do any damage to it. As you can see, Chester certainly not afraid to do any damage. He's got a busted windshield from a very serious crash that he had last year indoors. Looking much, much better here in session number 3. Very, very quick run through that final roundabout, and he comes across the finish line. That was definitely a faster roll at 48.16. Very, very quick, down in the 40s. First one to do it. In the high 40s, Arthur Chester throwing down the gauntlet for this lady, Mara Spencer. Big, bad, and ugly. She can definitely get the job done if she doesn't overdrive the truck. She has a tendency, though, to put this thing through its paces maybe a little bit too much. We'll see. Big, bad, and ugly on the line, waiting for the green light. Making a a good pass through the roundabout. Oh, she just blew the right front tire. You heard the pop. That will pretty much be the end of any hope of getting the #1 spot now. She may not even finish the run. She's really having trouble getting this thing to steer, and I doubt she wants to tear that rim up too badly. And it looks like she's going to take it right off the track. A very unfortunate turn of events for the big Bronco out of Barton, New York. But she put on a show for the crowd here in Meyersdale. She'll have to settle for her session #2 time as Ed Dinkoon with the buckshots on the front, the man who led the pack coming into this session. Ed Dinkoon in the mean green Dodge Ram out of New York, Grant, New York to be exact. He's currently sitting third. Arthur Chester and Zach Liebart giving him a hard way to go, but gave him a good time to go after. It looks like Ed forgot to take his spare tire out of the back and bounce it around in the bed of that truck. This Dodge can definitely get the job done, though. He's been very, very quick, and those tires on the front, again, should help him with the somewhat muddy conditions out here, but they're going from slop to dust, which is really hurting them in terms of trying to get consistency under their steer tires. Making a good pass right now. It may all come down to this final roundabout as he bounces his way into that. The right-hand side of the camera location here. It's off to the left of the stands. One more turnaround, sliding out a little bit. That may hurt him. Much better run than what we showed you in the highlights. Obviously laid down a good run in session 2. A little bit squirrely coming over the finish line. He'll take second at a 51-56. Good run for Dinkoon, but I know he wanted to get down there in the 40s with Arthur Chester. Still a few more trucks to go. Now we take a look at the Spider. Charles Webb. Little Chevy Cavalier, front-wheel drive. Might take him a minute to get going, but once he does, having that front-wheel drive could be a blessing to him. Should be able to kind of sling that car around, though I don't know how much speed he'll be able to pick up with only two-wheel drive.
Not bad.
He's really getting bounced around there. Not the ground clearance that we've seen out of the Jeeps and the Broncos and the pickups, but he's making it work for him. Not worried about tearing up the bumper, those headlights. Slipping and sliding his way into the roundabout. Look at him bouncing his way in there. He's having problems though. He may have just done himself some drivetrain damage. Only had front wheel drive. And yep, here comes the quad. Wayne Solly headed out to see how he can help him here as the Spider sits there. The helmet comes off. Webb laying down a good shot. Unfortunately, though, he will not finish the run here today. He had a smile on his face, though. He enjoyed himself, gave the crowd a show. And out rolls Doug Paust, one of the wild men from the Keystone State. Saw this guy a couple times this year on the Jamboree circuit. You've seen him run before. You know he's not afraid of that loud pedal. He'll get on the throttle as hard as anybody. Sometimes it's to his detriment, though. He can put a hurting on some equipment. Just waiting to get the track clear from Charles Webb there in the Spider. Once that car is pushed out of that roundabout, Doug Paust will be given the green light. Comes out flying. This big red Grand Cherokee is always a blast to watch on the course. He's got the headlights on. Should be a little help to him as it's starting to get dark over here. Not quite as dark as it's gonna get. But Doug Paust laying down a solid, aggressive shot right now into the final roundabout. He'll take the hard right in. Oh, he just dug out the side of that thing. He may have just done a favor for the man behind him, a little high side right there, and he's blowing the right front tire. That's like the third or fourth flat tire we've seen here today. Doug Paust, though, in spite of it, still laying down a pretty good run. See what the time is. There's the standings as of right now. And Palast is sitting in 4th with a 54-25. Mara Spencer has been knocked down to 5th. Our final competitor rolls out in a luxury automobile. That is Earl Thomas. This is the kind of car you go to dinner in. Don't think that he quite has that in mind. It's smoking a little bit coming up the starting line. I can already tell you he's not going to beat top time with a starting line launch like that. He's going to give us a show, though. It's a lot of fun to watch these sedans and these coupes make their way around this tough truck course with all that limited ground clearance, all the space they give up underneath. He's having trouble with these moguls, these real aggressive hits that you take coming in and out of this roundabout. Again, you go into the outside of that turn. On this next one, he has to go on the inside, and that's where it can get tough. It's a much tighter corner. And he's sliding through it. Nice entry, really bouncing around. Bumpers coming off. There's a bumper cover anyway. Might leave some plastic on the course. I believe he's got the hood strap shut from underneath, because it's starting to come up too. He's really taking a beating at the wheel of that silver Hyundai. Coming in for the final launch. Let's see if he can make it a good one. Oh yeah, gave the crowd a show right there. Earl Thomas will take 6th place. 59-56, not a bad run for the limited ground clearance. Arthur Chester takes the stock class. Can he take the mods? Find out next. Back at the Somerset County Fair in Meyersdale, Pennsylvania, as the sun sets, we get ready for modified tough truck racing. Pat Winchester and Arthur Chester are going to open things up. Scott Martin, Brett Sponenberg, Mike Loopold, Paul Hackle. It's a battle of Foy toys all the way through the middle of our bracket. And then Thomas Faust taking on the godfather in the Foy toy. That is Jake Nichols. But first, it's a modified truck against juggernaut of the stock class. You're about to see, however, the lopsided horsepower ratio here as Arthur Chester gets the green on his side. Pat Winchester not blowing him away off the start, actually. Pat may be saving the truck for later. He knows he can outrun the green machine out of Pennsylvania as the Windsor-powered Ford Raptor makes his way very cleanly around the roundabout, back out onto the front stretch with a huge lead. Pat looking awesome right now. There's Arthur Chester trying to play catch-up. Probably will not work for him. Again, the horsepower differential is pretty immense between these two trucks. Pat putting out something like 800-900 horsepower in that Ford Raptor. Arthur Chester, who's blown a tire. That's another flat tire. 5th of the evening. Pat Winchester headed down the front stretch with the victory. Arthur Chester, we'll see. It looks like he's making it. Look at that, with a flat right front. He's happy with it. 47.50 for Pat Winchester. Arthur doesn't want to stop racing. There you see the popped right front tire. I have a feeling there will be a few more of those before the end of the evening. With these hard hits they're taking coming in and out of these roundabouts. What it is they're launching out of those things on a corner. They're actually landing on the side wall of the tire, just rolling it off the rim. So they're real serious flats. They're not actually blowing the tires, but they're popping them off the rim. They're knocking the bead off. A pair of Foy toys come to the line now. The New Yorkers, Scott Martin and Holland Ass. Waiting Brett Sponenberg in beer money to line up. And we have lost our starting line. So they are going to a flag start. Jennifer Speck giving him the flag from the stage. Still a good start. We're going to lose a little bit of our electronic timing, but they should be able to time these things pretty well. Hauling ass now. Little problem right there. He got back on the throttle to kick the rear end of that truck around. Brett Sponenberg trying to give him a run for it, but he's way behind right now. As Sponenberg makes his way around, and he has got a serious problem. He just broke the front steering linkage. It's hanging out of the front of the Ford Bronco. We might be able to get a look at it. Scott Martin on a free pass right now will go through to the semifinal round as the sun sets over the Allegheny Mountains. There you can kind of see it sticking out of the front of the vehicle. Brett Sponenberg with mechanical problems, pretty serious, cannot steer the vehicle. Scott Martin at a 47.38, a good time for the F-150 out of the state of New York. Scott Martin pulling up there in front of Brett Sponenberg to let him know what's going on there. Sponenberg hops out. We are going to take a quick break while we clean up this mess and be back with more eliminations in the modified class.
At the beginning,
While we were away, we lined up another pair. Mike Loophole leading the line in the War Horse. Taking on Paul Hackle, who just leapt over the camera in the Swamp Donkey, and you are about to see our 6th flat tire of the evening. Mike Loophole on the roundabout to our left made his way through very quickly. A definitive lead on Paul Hackle, who struggled in the first roundabout, but not as much as he was about to. As he made his way out of his second roundabout, he would blow the right front tire. There you see it. 47.06, by the way, was the winning time for Mike Loophole in the War Horse. Paul Hackle will have to wait for another day to go to the winner's circle as we line up our final pairing of round number 1. Jake Nichols, the Godfather, takes on Thomas Faust in Mad Money. And Nichols would love to get back at Faust for what he did to him in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. Faust almost flipped that truck en route to a victory over one of the originals, Jake Nichols at the Foy Toy. He's been through it all, definitely. Has met a few competitors like Faust. Faust will tell you he's underpowered, but that little truck is quick around these corners. Jake Nichols with the headlights, he's falling way back. Thomas Faust already out to a healthy lead as he enters that final roundabout. Track times really don't matter at this point, but it is an indication as to what the other person will be able to do when you line up next to him. Faust entering his final corner with a very sizable advantage. We'll head back onto the straightaway. Problems for Jake Nichols. Looked like he went a little bit deep on that final corner. Thomas Faust crossing the finish line with the victory. Jake Nichols just now finishing his legal run. He could technically get back into the field if one of the other competitors goes out, but it looks like it will be the end of the night for the Foy Toy as Thomas Faust lays down a 44.69. That is the new fast time in the modified class as we look at our semifinal round pairings. Pat Winchester against Scott Martin. We've seen that battle before. And then Mike Loophole takes on Thomas Faust. So Faust getting back-to-back runs at the Foy Toy Broncos. A pair of Windsor-powered Ford pickups coming to the starting line. The Kazar Collision Handstrom Performance sponsored metal case. Ford Raptor-bodied vehicle against the Martin's Towing hauling-ass machine of Scott Martin. Green flag, Jennifer Speck flagging him away. There goes Martin out to a good start, but Winchester out in the lead very quickly. The roundabouts will determine this whole thing. You can see it's actually brighter on the left side of us where Pat Winchester is right now. It's a little bit darker over there where Scott Martin is. We'll see if the light comes into play as Pat Winchester enters the front stretch with the lead. Scott Martin, though, not far behind. Winchester working his way around his final roundabout. Scott Martin right with him. They're about even at this point. A problem for Pat Winchester. Got bogged down entering that final turn, and Scott Martin with a 44.53 new fast time for the hauling ass Ford out of New York. Pat Winchester will not make it through to the finals here, but it was a good, clean race. Scott Martin, been around for a while, but he might be considered the underdog coming into that pairing. Pat Winchester will tell you not to count out any of these guys. They are all very, very fast now. Thomas Faust trying to get a hold of another Bronco here. Mike Loophole with the bright LED headlights on the front of the Warhorse. Jennifer Speck getting okay and flacking away. Here comes Thomas Faust and Mad Money onto the dark side of the course. Those bright headlights should be of a considerable advantage to the Warhorse. I don't know if those are legal or not. Nobody's said anything so far. Out of the first roundabout with a pretty good lead. The Warhorse way out in front as he enters that final set of turns. Thomas Faust just now making his way into his final corner. Warhorse still with the advantage. I think those headlights are definitely helping him as he heads down the final straight. And look at this, back-to-back 44.53s. Mike Loophole will take on Scott Martin in the finals and an evenly matched pair of trucks. And it's not really a surprise they come out of the same racing camp. But Mike Loophole working with a little bit of new technology on the new Warhorse to Scott Martin's old tried and true hauling ass F-150 as he makes his way onto the track. He'll head around to the far side to the starting line. There you see the bright headlights of the Warhorse. We're lining up our championship race right away. Wayne Solly getting Mike Loophole onto the starting line. Scott Martin gives the thumbs up. We're going to go right away quick. The championship race in Meyersdale. Slight advantage to Loophole heading into the first set of turns. Little bobble for him right there. I'm not sure what it was. He's got a flat right front tire. That'll be your, what, 7th flat tire of the evening. Mike Loophole, though, still fighting his way through, but now it's on the outside of his turn tire. That's going to slow him down quite a bit. Scott Martin does not know it. He's just staying after it, hauling ass. Loophole back out on the front stretch, and he is struggling immensely right now as Scott Martin crosses the finish line for the championship here in Meyersdale, Pennsylvania, the Somerset County Fair. Scott Martin taking the victory here at the Short Track Off-Road Motorsports Racing Series, Meyersdale, Pennsylvania, round number 4, whatever you want to call it. The championship belongs to Scott. A huge thank you to Pat Winchester, Jennifer Speck for having us out this weekend. We have enjoyed our time here. If you haven't been out to see one of these tough truck events, you got to get out here. They are wild. For all of us here at Monster Power, we thank you for joining us. We will see you next time.